Should you throw away the flowers as soon as they fade? Don't rush. Today, I'll share with you how to propagate orchids directly from the old flower stalks. It's simple yet surprisingly effective, helping the plant continue to grow and produce a new, healthy generation of orchids. Seeing orchids in full bloom like this is a joy for anyone who grows them. With rare orchid varieties, I always want to propagate them, preserve the species, and have more plants to care for and enjoy together for a long time. After the flowers have withered, the flower stalk still has great value. If we care for and handle it properly, new plants will form from this very stalk. I prepare a clean pair of scissors and proceed to cut the flower stalk after the flowers are withered. Each cut is intentional, because each dormant bud on the flower stalk has the potential to sprout if done correctly. Next, I'll prepare a very sharp razor blade. I'll check which nodes still have dormant buds and the potential to sprout, and only keep them. Once I've identified the location, I'll place the razor blade and make a clean diagonal cut. Here you can clearly see that there are still other dormant buds on the stem. Here you can clearly see that there are still other dormant buds on the stem. Next, I begin cutting off the withered flower. Once the flower has completed its life cycle, I cut close to the base of the flower. The reason is that at the base of the flower, near the bud, many orchids are capable of producing new shoots right on the flower stem. If you look closely, from this point, new shoots can sprout, grow beautifully and healthily. And don't forget that we'll also be cutting diagonally across the flower stalk of the mother plant. This cut prevents water from accumulating in the leaf axils or at the cut site, minimizing fungal diseases and helping the flower stem dry faster, making it safer for the plant. I use sprouted potatoes. Few people realize that potato sprouts contain a lot of nutrients and natural growth hormones. These substances stimulate cell regeneration, helping orchids recover quickly, sprout new roots, and grow stronger. I choose a healthy sprouted potato and gently separate the sprout. The potato sprout is the most essential part, where the potato's life energy is concentrated. Next, I'll take a portion of the sprouted potato. Next, finely chop the potato sprouts and potatoes. On the Blissful Garden channel, you can also find many ways to make homemade organic fertilizers from familiar kitchen ingredients. These are not only cost-effective but also help plants grow sustainably. It looks very simple, but each slice of potato contains natural nutrients that help the orchid recover and develop strong roots. Next, I'll take out a container. Then, I gently put all the chopped potatoes into the container. And soon, This mixture will show its effects, which many orchid beginners haven't noticed. Next, we'll use the coffee grounds. Many people throw this away, but coffee grounds are actually very nutritious, especially good for orchid roots if used correctly. I take about a teaspoon of coffee grounds. Next, I pour in about 500 milliliters of hot water. When the hot water comes in, the nutrients in the potato and coffee grounds will begin to dissolve slowly. After adding all the ingredients, I gently stir to allow the potato and coffee grounds to mix together. After stirring, I close the lid tightly and let it sit for about 3 hours. After exactly 3 hours, all the nutrients from the coffee and potatoes had been absorbed and dissolved into the water. At this point, I didn't rush to use it immediately, but filtered out all the residue, keeping only the clear liquid. This is the most essential part. The nutrient mixture was ready for me to use to care for my orchids. The results afterwards truly surprised me. Next, I added half a liter of clean water. This dilutes the solution to prevent the plant from going into shock during the care process. Next, I took the orchid outside to care for it before propagating it by cuttings. I took a soft cotton ball, lightly dampened it with a potato and coffee mixture, and wiped each leaf. This was to remove any dirt and mold that had accumulated over time. After just a few wipes, I noticed the orchid was much cleaner, looking much fresher, as if it had finally breathed again. After wiping the stems, I set the plant aside and poured all the potato and coffee mixture into a cup. And here's a crucial part. I let the cuttings soak for about 30 minutes. This period of time will determine many things that follow, and I will show you the results later. After 30 minutes, I took the orchid out after soaking it in the nutrient solution for the required time. I took a clean cotton cloth and wiped the plant one more time. I wiped every small crevice to completely remove any remaining dust and mold. The more I wiped, the brighter and neater the orchid looked. Once finished, I placed the plant outside to rest for a while before moving on to the next step. Next, I take out the cinnamon powder. I use cinnamon powder to disinfect the orchid, especially sensitive areas like the area near the stem where it was just cut, or where water tends to accumulate. I lightly dab the cinnamon powder on that spot. You don't need much. At this moment, the cinnamon powder will take effect fighting bacteria and fungi, helping the cut dry faster and making it safer for the plant. After this step, I place the plant outside. Next, we take out the cotton. This will be the substrate for rooting cuttings, so it needs to be cleaned. Pour the prepared coffee water over it, evenly watering the cotton plant so it absorbs the water gradually. Leave it like that for about 30 minutes. While waiting, the coffee water will slowly seep in, helping to disinfect and deliver essential nutrients deep into the orchid plant. After 30 minutes, I removed the incubated cotton layer, which was now fully saturated with nutrients. I gently squeezed out the excess water, not too hard, just enough to keep the cotton slightly damp. Next, I took out a plastic cup. I cut a few small slits in the bottom, just enough to create ventilation and drainage holes. Then, I lined the bottom of the cup with some cotton. Next, I placed a stem with the dormant buds inside, adjusting it neatly. Then, I covered it with another layer of nutrient-rich cotton, gently, so that the cotton hugged the stem but still allowed for ventilation. At this point, there was enough moisture and nutrients inside to awaken the sprout. Finally, I closed the cup with a lid I had already drilled a few small holes in. The purpose was to allow air and oxygen to circulate while preventing insects and mold from entering. First, I take a sturdy cup, making sure the bottom is smaller than the bottom of the pot. When placed in the pot, it will stand firmly and won't sink, ensuring effectiveness. Next, I pour clean filtered water into the pot, just enough to cover the bottom, not too much. Then, I place the cup down into the water. The water will gradually evaporate, creating natural and stable humidity for the orchid to thrive. I only need to check once a week. If the water level is low, I just add more filtered water. During this period, I move the plant to the garden, placing it in a shady, well-ventilated area with gentle light. And here are the results after exactly 3 weeks. Look, the water at the bottom hasn't dried up yet. The humidity is still very stable. The plant has started to sprout new shoots, thanks to the nutrients and moisture evaporating regularly. The orchid is growing noticeably, showing signs of life returning day by day. I checked again so everyone could see clearly. Here, a young shoot has emerged very healthily, even showing signs of preparing to flower. This shows that the plant has truly recovered and is ready to enter a new stage of development. With regular care, patience, and a little dedication, the orchid has returned with a very beautiful and healthy plant. After that, I continued to lightly mist the plant to keep it moist, then put it back inside and covered it as before. Finally, I've put the plant back in its original location, a shady, well-ventilated spot with gentle light. When I saw the water running low, I added more. If it wasn't low, I left it as is. And so, I continued to maintain this care routine so that the orchid would stabilize and grow stronger every day. And exactly 1 month later, when I checked again, I was truly surprised. At this point, the plant had begun to develop a clear root system. The stem was growing larger every day, and it was clear that the plant had completely In such a short time, the orchid had become much stronger, so I decided to remove it to check and help it gradually adapt to its natural environment. When I took it out, I observed it very carefully to ensure it was healthy enough to live independently. And here it is. Everyone, look. The root system is developing very well, with many healthy, white roots. And the leaves are large and thick, proving that the plant is absorbing nutrients very well. Overall, it looks like the plant is completely revived. When I took the plant outside, I let it gradually adjust, because by then the roots were firmly established, the leaves were growing vigorously, and the flower buds had turned green again, almost returning to its normal state as before. These shoots can later be propagated to continue growing healthy orchid plants in the garden, allowing us to enjoy beautiful, long-lasting orchid flowers that are well worth the effort. After that, I started taking the plant outside to gradually acclimate it to its natural environment. Next, I started planting the orchid in its natural environment. Here, I chose a substrate made from discarded pine bark because it's very aerated, retains just the right amount of moisture, and is especially orchid. I also used a pot with many drainage holes to ensure the roots could breathe and wouldn't become waterlogged. Pour the potting mix down first. I had already processed this pine bark beforehand, cleaning, soaking, and removing all impurities to ensure safety for the orchid roots. After everything was ready, I proceeded to plant the orchid, allowing it to begin adapting and growing in its natural environment in the best way possible. Next, I covered the rim of the pot with a thin layer of moss. This is very important because the moss helps maintain stable moisture, protects the young roots, and prevents them from drying out or getting damaged while the plant adapts. Once the moss is evenly distributed, I placed the orchid in the pot, adjusted it to stand upright, and then added another layer of moss around the base. The purpose is to gently retain moisture, creating an ideal environment for the orchid roots to grow strong and quickly establish themselves in the growing medium. At this point, I had finished planting the orchid. From now on, the most important thing is to care for it regularly and at the right pace so that the plant recovers and grows steadily. Each month, I divide the fertilization into 2 applications, just enough for the plant to absorb without causing shock or excess nutrients. On regular days, I mist the plant with water every 3 days to maintain humidity, combined with watering with clean filtered water. After planting, at this stage I only water with clean filtered water. The purpose is to keep the roots moist, help the plant stabilize, and begin to grow and develop more healthily. I will move the plant to the garden, placing it in a shady, well-ventilated area with gentle light. The light at this stage only needs to be moderate for photosynthesis. Absolutely avoid direct sunlight on the orchid. What do you think of this orchid care method? Don't hesitate to leave a comment and share your thoughts. I really want to hear your feedback and experiences. Every share from you is a valuable source of motivation that helps us learn and love plants more every day.